Hey guys, welcome back to Diesel, where today we're going to tune our JL Wrangler with Green Diesel Engineering. Let's check it out. Alright, so we have had this Jeep for almost 2 years, and ever since we got it, we've been waiting to put a tune on it, and finally now in 2022, Green Diesel Engineering has a tune for this Jeep. If you guys aren't familiar with Green Diesel Engineering, they have a tune for all of the EcoDiesels that have been made, with their latest one for the JL Wrangler and the JT Gladiator. So today we were actually at their shop. I reached out to them and they were kind enough to say, absolutely, we can bring our Jeep up here and throw it on the dyno and get some before and after numbers of the Jeep. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. We got it on the dyno, we're letting it warm up a little bit, and then we are going to do a couple before pulls, put the numbers on the screen. We got everything going on right here, so you guys can see actually just what kind of difference we can make with the tune on this Jeep. So before we get into tuning the actual Jeep, let's cover a little bit of the basics about what we're doing today and why we're doing it. So if you guys are new to diesels, ever since the first electronically controlled diesels kind of in the 90s, people have been tuning them. We found out that there's a lot of horsepower and torque that the OEMs leave on the tables. If you're familiar with some of the Cummins from the 90s, those things can make insane power on exactly the stock engine with just some few modifications of tuning, right? Well, in the case of the EcoDiesel, it's the same thing, right? So Green Diesel Engineering bought one of these Jeeps about 1.5 years ago, and they've been working on it and tuning it ever since, and they found out that we can get about a little over 40 horsepower and about 80 foot-pounds of torque just by doing a complete reflash of the PCM and the transmission, right? So that's exactly what we're gonna do today. We're gonna take some dyno runs. They're going to reflash our PCM right here under the hood. They're gonna cal the trans for us, and then we're gonna see if we really can get that 40 horsepower and that 80 foot-pounds of torque out of this Jeep. Baseline run on the Jeep. This is a chassis dyno. We're not seeing engine torque here. This is rear wheel torque. So we got a maximum of 391.5 torque and 225 horsepower. I believe it's 440 foot-pounds is what they rate it from for the factory. So that's right in line with what we should see. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through how we flash this tune. We're going to tune the Jeep, and then we'll do some post-tune dyno runs as well. You guys out there, you might say, okay, is that a little bit safe? Is that legal? A lot of people that were tuning back in the day, they confuse that or associate that with deletes. Everything that they do here, they calibrate with the EPA. They're EPA certified tunes, so they're for sale in every state but California. So we're not, making it, stripping the emissions off or anything like that. We're simply just giving it more clean power. Is it safe? As I said to you guys before, They spent a year and a half developing the tune on this Jeep. They outfit it with exactly the same sensors. They have almost an identical setup to the OEMs. FCA calibrated this probably just a couple miles up the street. So they know what they're doing here. It's a great tune. It's very safe. It's very comfortable. And from the moment I walked in the door of this place, I was absolutely shocked just by how in depth they were. And when you read something like that on the internet, throttle body space or something like that, oh, will add horsepower, will add torque. Seems like it's kind of marketing too good to be true, but I can promise you guys today, I'm just blown away by what they do here, and this is not too good to be true, and the dyno results are going to prove that. So currently we're actually writing the tune on the ECU, but for those of you that are at home and want to tune your Jeep and can't come into Green Diesel, this is a pretty simple process. This is exactly what you're going to do. So you can go onto their website, I'll put a link in the description. You can purchase the tune, and the first thing you're going to do after you purchase the tune is you're going to have to make sure that your software is up to date. They can update your software here, but it's easier just to look on their website. They have some FAQs about that. And basically what you have to do is you have to go into the dealership and they'll give you a free flash for your software on your ECU, right? So after that, what you're going to do is you're going to come over here. We actually have to take the ECU out on the JLs 2019 and newer because they locked it out where you can't just use a flash tool anymore. So you're going to disconnect your negative terminal on your battery, and that allows you to get these two grounds loose. If you don't disconnect the battery before you do that, the Jeep will get pretty mad at you. So you're going to disconnect the negative on the battery. You're going to take this off and get these grounds out because this bracket right here is actually what your ECU is mounted to. So once you do that, you can unclip the ECU. There's 1, 2, 3 bolts to pull your ECU. Pull your ECU out, and then you're going to send that into Green Diesel, and they will actually bench flash this, much like they're doing right now. Again, because of the security, lockout on the Gen 3 EcoDiesels. So next, Green Diesel will send you your PCM back, and they'll also send you a tuner and a little jumper cable. That's the red part of the Jeep right there. So then what you're going to do is you're going to plug these two into the Jeep. You're going to read your trans file off with this reader, and then you'll email it back to them. They'll make the changes to your base trans file. You'll upload it from your computer onto this tuner, and then you'll come out to the Jeep and you'll upload it and tune the trans yourself instead of having to pull the trans computer out and send it in as well. So once you do that, you pop your PCM in and you're good to go. So we are actually done with that. They tune the trans, they tune the PCM for us. We're going to do some post-tune dyno runs and see what kind of numbers we can get. We'll see if we can meet that 40 and 80. This is the post-tune dyno run, quite an improvement. So we were at 471 foot-pounds of torque at the rear wheels, 472, 265.1 horsepower. So if we look at the overlay here, this is a pretty awesome improvement. We can actually see, I've got a bunch of graphs here. So if you look at the overlay, you can see the improvement. We've got, probably about 85 foot-pounds of torque there. I'm sure it's right about 40 horsepower. And then if you look at the numbers on these two, so right here, 265 to 225, that's actually exactly 40 horsepower, which is right what they advertise. And then 391.5 to 471.9, which is actually what, 80.4 horsepower, or 80.4 foot-pounds of torque. So that's pretty awesome. It actually came out exactly what they said. Jeep seems to run good, so now it's time to take it for a rip and see what the old butt dyno says. So that's it for the tuning process. We've got it off the dyno. Obviously we did the dyno, just to show you guys the numbers, show you kind of the proof in the pudding. But we're going to go take this for a rip. So before we kind of end things off today, Green Diesel Engineering, again, that's where we're at. So they offer a Green Diesel EcoDiesel hot tune they call it. That's again the 40 horsepower, 80 foot-pounds of torque. That's $1,150. It's entry price, and that is a full engine and trans calibration with the reader, everything you saw today. We actually did opt for 2 options, so they give you an engine brake option, which will help you if you're pulling trailers down grades or if you're just driving a lot of mountainous roads like you've seen us do before. So that'll be cool. I'm excited for that. And then they also, for $50, they can turn on the regen message. So all that does is just if you're in the middle of a regen, it'll flash that message on the cluster. So in case you want to just keep driving or things like that. So $1,250 is what we got today. And it seems pretty awesome. I know we're excited. Lisa's already excited to drive this thing. So special thanks to these guys. I'll put a link to their website down below. If you guys want to check them out. On my impression, it's the only way to tune your EcoDiesel. I know there's some competitors out there like the Derringer, but that's more of a fooler. That's not an entire tune like this. I don't think anyone else out there is offering a full flash as of yet because they're pretty new to the market. So check them out. They did an awesome job, and I think you guys would be happy with the results too.
Oh, it's touchy.
Does it feel a little,
which way?
You have to go left. Alright, so this is the Inaugural Drive here.
Oh, jeez.
You can go left. Does it have a little more power?
Actually.
Definitely feels a little more aggressive just in normal driving, you know, if I'm not foot to the floor. It holds the gears a little longer. And the throttle is a little more touchy as well. You can hear it kind of aggressively downshifting there. It takes away the mush pedal that it had. I always hated how this thing, there'd be situations in traffic where you actually would want to go to pass someone or do something like that, and you would need it to accelerate, and it just would not accelerate. Wide open right there. It's got some pretty good get up and go. I'm not sure what the 0 to 60 time is. It's kind of hard for me to find a place I can do that around here, but it moves. If you want to get out and pass someone, it's got tons of power, finds the gear right. You know, it's never had any issues passing people on the highway, but it just seems like it's ready to rip even more now. All in all, I'm really happy with the tune so far. It's way too early to speak on any of the longevity or fuel economy or anything like that. However, it does make the Jeep drive like maybe it's felt like it always should have driven. And you know, the 3-liter EcoDiesel, it's a formidable power plant now. It always just felt like a mushy pedal. Knocked me back in my seat pretty well right there. Definitely a worthwhile upgrade. I honestly don't think it's been, 2 days since we've tuned this. I don't think I could go back and drive this Jeep without the tune. And as soon as we get the opportunity with the guys at Green Diesel, I'm going to take the Grand Cherokee right up there and we're going to do the same thing to it. It's awesome. Awesome job by those guys on the tune. I'm just shocked. I'm blown away with the difference that it made to the Jeep. It's fun, awesome. I can't wait to get it out to Silver Lake on the drag strip and have some fun with it. It's going to be, I don't think it's going to be beating 392s on the strip, but it was always right there with everything else before, and it's going to be fun now. One other thing I want to comment on real quick is just the trans tuning. The trans never felt like it was, tuned poorly from stock condition, but obviously it has to be adjusted a little bit when you revamp the PCM tuning like that. I've been in vehicles before that have had their trans tuned, and they just never seem to choose the right gear if it's done poorly when you want to mash the pedal. Sometimes they just make it shift too quickly and it bangs. Sometimes you'll float out gears like you do in a stock condition a lot. See what I mean? Grabs a gear, goes, and then those shifts are just bang, 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 but it's like still smooth. It's wild. All right, so that's it for today's video, guys. I'm excited to see how this thing holds up. We're definitely going to do a review on this, 6 months down the road or so after we put a lot of miles on it and see really, what kind of fuel economy we see, if there's anything different with the engine, maybe we'll even get some engine oil tested, whatever, right? But as far as right now, it's pretty awesome. We're excited to drive it. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to help you out. You guys can call the guys here too at Green Diesel Engineering. They have a great support team. I'm sure they can answer any questions. They know all kinds of things about the EcoDiesel engine, right? They'll help you out too. Other than that, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
What went off?
The traction.
Oh, I'm scared to do it again. I was like, oh, so many years.